When we were designing the main character, it was how do you put a guy on a box cover that people are going to immediately know who he is? It was all about the weapon.
When attempting to topple the gods of Mount Olympus, sometimes brute strength and sheer will are simply not enough.
You have learned to use the blades of chaos well, but they alone will not carry you to the end of your task.
As such, Kratos encounters a plethora of unique weapons to use, some earned.
These are the blades of exile. They will help guide you on your journey to the flame.
While some taken. Either given by a god or taken from an enemy, each of Kratos' weapons leaves him more equipped on his journey of vengeance.
The game's designed around you having to beat the crap out of lots of guys. When it's you and one other guy, man, he's done for.
All right, guys, what is the coolest weapon that Kratos has used?
Wow, that's tough.
The blades.
The blades.
Chaos, yeah. I mean, that's definitely probably the right answer, obviously.
I like the bow. First, when I started playing God of War 2 with the bow in it, that felt just right because now you've got this extension, this like kind of projectile thing, and then we took it a little bit further in God of War 3. But I'd say for me, hands down, it's probably the bow, just because you can whip it out at any time. You can light guys on fire, like groups of guys, and it's.
There we go again.
There we go.
Beep.
See, I didn't even
But
know that time.
I think it allows a nice kind of wild card to be thrown into the battle, and yeah, it's sweet.
You know, there was a moment, I think, I had taken a trip over to Santa Monica, and you guys were not done with God of War 3 yet, but you were showing me like a little test level, and you guys had like the Blade of Olympus all decked out there, and you know, I was like, oh my God, the Blade of Olympus is so badass. Like, obviously, I think the blades, first and foremost, are the best weapon in the game. But that thing, you know, it's cool because, I mean, it looks like it belongs to somebody important. I think that was one of the things that I always thought was really clever about God of War, was that a weapon is a weapon, but at the same time, like, it should also be a character too. I mean, when I look at the Blade of Olympus and it has like all those people on it, and it's got that crazy big blood groove and it glows blue, I look at that thing and I go, that's just like, it inspires me to want to chop people up with it.
Okay.
In a good way.
He's a little disturbed.
I mean, there's like two categories for that too. There's the sort of iconic aspect of Kratos' blades. They're like the fedora and the whip for indie. I mean, they're very, like, Kratos is not Kratos without the blades. So I think the weapons are fantastic. As far as the gameplay usage, I actually really liked Army of Hades and Chronos Rage. I think those ones were awesome. The Fire and Forget, you could just rock a bunch of enemies with that. Those were just absolutely fun to use. But they're kind of, you know, they blend in the background with the sort of large collection of magics and weapons that you use. So I think the blades sort of always win, hands down.
Well, I think the Medusa head was the very first image I ever had of God of War. The idea of a guy going around with this and sort of using it as a weapon. I still love that, and I love the move you guys did in 3, which was kind of like the Spartan flanks, kind of everybody kind of, you know, huddling up, and then I love that move. So.
The shields?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, Dana, what new weapons can we expect in Ghosts of Sparta?
Wow, it's a good segue into that, I guess. I mean, I guess touching on kind of what you were asking just a second ago, one of the weapons that we kind of already put out there that people have been, you know, seeing, and you played with, I guess, at E3 probably as well, is the Arms of Sparta, which is a spear and shield combination, and that actually comes from just, you know, classic, you know, visuals that we see Spartan warriors, you know, wielding. We took a different approach with the secondary weapon in Chains of Olympus because we just wanted to do something different and actually really change up the play style. I think the same is true with this weapon, the spear and shield combination we have in Ghost of Sparta, because I think we realized it's not a good idea to try to outdo the blades. The blades are just awesome. Everybody loves them. They play great. You can do cool stuff with them. They're always going to be good. The thing to do is to maybe go, what else could Kratos use that's also useful, that doesn't compete with that maybe complements it or allows you to play in a different way? So we started looking at defense, you know, and it's like this thing where it's like, it's not really fun maybe for the average gamer to play defensively, right? Like, I don't want to be sitting there, hunkering down, just blocking all day. I want to be out there mashing buttons and killing guys and just wrecking fools. So we took defense and turned it into kind of an offense. Like, so he's got this shield, and you can do offensive things with it. You can move while you're blocking. You can gain ground on guys. You can just bash the crap out of them. You can launch them in the air with it. So we took things that we know and we love that work on the blades, and we said, how can we, use those mechanics and infuse them into this weapon with new moves and kind of take a different take on it. So I think people are going to find that while there's another layer of complexity to the Spear and Shield and Arms of Sparta, that they offer like the chance to kind of play a different way with Kratos that I think a lot of people will find there's a lot of depth to and a lot of reward in it.
Well, it also feels very Kratos-y to turn defense into offense. I mean, he's not a man who's going to stand there and block. He's a guy who's just going to
he's not going to wait for he's not going to wait for things to happen. He's going to make them happen, even if it is being kind of covered up.
Right. So among the many revolutionary elements introduced by the God of War series, perhaps the most compelling is the epic storyline that takes Kratos through the world of Greek mythology, all while establishing his own legend. Here's a quick look into the sprawling saga of God of War.